Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with My American Story. North. I guess that means it's going to be a series. There's going to be a South, and maybe an East, and a West, and maybe a Northeast, and a Southwest, and a North-South, and an East-West. Who knows how long this is going to go on? Actually, the concept isn't bad. It really isn't. This is Daniil Trifonov, Russian emigre, who now is a resident of New York, I gather. And what he's done is put together a sort of a hodgepodge of things representing his journey thus far in America. But there's real musical substance here. And the collection is rather cleverly chosen. I mean, okay, there's some gimmicks. We'll get to the gimmick. It's at the end. But otherwise, it's a very enjoyable collection of things. I would never play the whole thing like straight through or in a sitting because the musical styles are sort of incompatibly diverse, although that's part of the point, of course. But there are some wonderful individual performances that make this thing worth acquiring, and it is worth acquiring. It's 2 discs, a lot of work, I think, putting this together on Trifonov's part, and he deserves credit for that, as for the repertoire choices. So what do we get, and how good are they? Well, you've got film music, you've got serious concertos, you've got modern stuff, you've got every possible musical style. We begin with Art Tatum, I Cover the Waterfront. Trifonov fell in love with Art Tatum when he started studying piano here in this country, and it's sort of hard not to fall in love with Art Tatum if you're studying piano, because he was just an amazing, amazing artist. So that's a nice way to begin. And then we get Gershwin's Concerto in F. Now, everyone in the universe does the Concerto in F when they want to do an American something or other for piano and orchestra. And it's with Philadelphia Orchestra and Nézet-Séguin, pardon me, Yannick Nézet-Séguin. And it's a wonderful performance of the Gershwin. Oh my. I mean, maybe one of the best since Earl Wild and Fiedler. I'm not kidding. It's exciting. It's fast. It doesn't moon about. It swings. The orchestra, of course, is fabulous. The finale sizzles. It's really, really a hot version of the Gershwin piano. I mean, the bluesy second movement is, sometimes it just lays there. It doesn't, just moves. It's really, really well done. And that really points up, I think, the seriousness and distinctiveness of the whole project. It's a good sign because it's not just, another so-and-so. It sounds like it really matters to all of the performers, and they've got an idea, and they really put it across. So that was really, really very nice. Then we get Copland's Piano Variations, probably the thorniest, toughest piece on the whole disc. I love Copland's Piano Variations. It's very seldom played. It's extremely difficult and kind of gnarly, and, people tend not to like it very much because of that reason. It's one of Copland's modernist pieces, and Trifonov plays it extremely well, and I'm proud of him for putting something in here that offers at least a bit of a challenge, and it's a healthy challenge. It's just a tangy, tart piece. I love this work. It's challenging in a good way, and very, very enjoyable. So that also is, I'm already sold, from between Tatum and Gershwin and Copland, we're in business. Then we get Victor Young and Bill Evans, When I Fall in Love, a little jeu d'esprit, which was charming and nicely done. And John Adams, China Gates, a little bit of sort of minimalist stuff here, or modernist minimalist stuff, which is, does anyone play that badly? Is it possible even? I mean, it's not music full of, emotion that's subject to sort of wildly fluctuating personal interpretations that will have extraordinarily different meanings and levels of profundity. It's attractive and it's nicely done. So that's disc 1. Disc 2. Disc 2. We begin with Corigliano's Fantasia on an ostinato, which has been performed a billion times. The ostinato is, the allegretto dum bum 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 from Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. It was originally written, I believe, as a competition piece, and it's since taken off as sort of a modernist bonbon, a lollipop for those who want to dabble in the musical modernist avant-garde type thing, because Corigliano was never a minimalist particularly. But this is again a fine reading. Dave Grusin's Memphis Stomp from the film The Firm. Because there's some film music in here, which I love. I mean, I think that's wonderful. We talk about film music all the time, usually in a big, glitzy orchestral context, but there's a lot of wonderful piano music that was written for films too. So I totally am with Trifonov for actually, adding some of that stuff. That's a good idea. Also next, the theme from American Beauty. Remember that movie? The one with the paper bag that's like swirling around in the wind. It's a movie about a paper bag. No, it's actually a very dark comedy, and quite enjoyable. So I liked that movie. I really did. So that was fun. And then we've got Mason Bates, his piano concerto, which was written for Trifonov, and this is its world premiere recording, world premiere performance and recording. Well, there you go. It's a good work. Wow. If you're looking for a nifty modern piano concerto, the thing about Mason Bates is a good composer, a real solid craftsman. Everything I've heard of his, I've found rather enjoyable to listen to, really, even at a first hearing. I still haven't quite figured out his distinctive voice, or even if he has one. But it's good, solid, well-crafted music. I mean, he's into a lot of mallets and tinkly sounds and, the upper end of, percussion and things like that in the orchestra. But this is a 3-movement concerto with a wide range of stylistic parameters, and it's fun to listen to, and it's really, really enjoyable, and they play the living daylights out of it, and it's really something worth getting to know. So that, again, recommends this album to us. It's more than just a gimmick. It's not like, that horrible disc with Vikinger Olafsson playing duties on diddly things on his upright piano and on his regular piano that he played when he was a kid, while we have pictures of him, like this with the hands everywhere. No. Here he is, Trifonov just, walking through, some less pleasant piece of under the BQE or Brooklyn or maybe the Pulaski Skyway or something like that. It's every bit as much a autobiography of the artist, but in a really musically smart and varied way. And that's what matters with these things. It's always got to be the music that's first, even when you're being very hagiographic and, and doing something that's, creating an image for the artist and all that stuff. I mean, I'm fine with that. As long as musical values are paramount, and they really are here. But then comes the gimmick. Okay, he's entitled to a gimmick. He's given us 2 discs of really first-class piano music, chosen with love and affection and played fantastically. So he's entitled to 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Yes, John Cage, which in this case is the field version. What that means is that it takes us on a journey from the Columbus Circle subway stop into Central Park. So it goes from, the number 1 train is watch your feet, before leaving the train and all that crap. And then across the street and then into birds and chirpy things in the park. Now, to my mind, as an aficionado of 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and you may recall that my cat Peepo made the ultimate 4 minute and 33 second video, which is on this channel. So I'm biased. I confess, I am definitely biased about 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I don't think you should be doing 4 minutes and 33 seconds while you're walking around the city, because that gives it too much. It's an excessive interpretation of 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I mean, it has an abundance of things going off on it. And when you pack that much into it, I think you lose some of the inner stillness, the contemplative essence that John Cage was probably shooting at, and which my cat Peepo captured so well. So that is the only thing on the disc that I'm afraid I just can't recommend. But like I said, I'm biased, and so you may want to discount my observations completely. But otherwise, this is an absolutely stunning disc, full of wonderful music making, familiar, the unfamiliar, the popular, the classical. It's all done equally well. It really is. And so I really think this is worth hearing. And if, like me, you want to hear it in bits and different over multiple listening sessions, that's fine. If you want to play it all the way through, hey, whatever floats your boat, it works. It's a lovely disc. And so I am happy to have seen North. And I'm quite curious to see what happens with South, because there are an amazing number of fabulous Latin American and South American piano concertos that I would just love to hear. Maybe we'll get a really dazzling performance of Ginastera Piano Concerto No. 1. Might I suggest that? Because we could really use a new one. But we'll see, won't we? So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.